Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Iwer Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Grand uprising, my people, grand uprising. Beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful day. And your day isn't characterized by the weather only. I'm not saying that you shouldn't characterize your day by the weather. I'm saying that's not the only way you should characterize your day. Your day should be resonating from on the inside out. So it's a beautiful day and a beautiful time to be alive again. This is Mr. Johnson, your boy, aka RJ, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at 92 East Drive in Chamfleur. My idea is to bring information as it pertains to health and wellness and give you a barrage of information. This morning I have an announcement to make, and I hope you guys can appreciate. Now, coming, and this, I want you to understand, I have a couple of things to do in Tobago. For the next month, well, I have been in Tobago for the past 2 weekends. For the next month, I will be in Tobago every single weekend. I have some work going on, and plus some family issues that, I mean, nobody needs to know that, but being the first out of 7, I need to be there. So it's a double thing. So for the month of April, on a Wednesday, you're not going to be hearing Mr. Johnson. By the sustenance of the Creator, I'll be back in May. All right? So I want you guys to understand that. No, that doesn't mean my office is closed. I'm available to do my appointments as usual. I'm available to deal with my peeps as usual. I will just have to make certain shifts. But just understand, again, you will not hear your boy on a Wednesdays for the month of April. All right? That's my time to take that time to do some stuff in Tobago. I have appointments in Tobago to take care of, as well as some other issues. Okay? Now, this morning I want to touch on a topic that I don't know how many people know about a MVX. What a MVX, Man Victor X inbox blood test is about. But I will pontificate on that for a little bit. And of course, I'm going to go back and recap a few other things as it pertains to our health. Okay? So good morning again, my people. Good morning to Tobago. I hope everybody's doing fantabulously, fantabulous, and continue to shade under the golden branches of the Creator's love and care. Please do not judge. None of us are in a capacity nor any human rights. We don't have the unmitigated temerity to judge anybody, because all of us are unfinished stories. All of us struggle. All of us suffer. So stop pretending that you are this a level where you are beyond anyone else. That don't work, can't work, never work, and cannot ever work. Not in this life. If your intention on the face of this planet is to obtain or ascertain perfection, it not gonna happen. Okay? And I think if that is your premise, maybe you should ride out from this planet. And I say that unapologetically. All of us suffer. All of us has pain. And all of us wear masks. But I hope the mask that you wear is one that can uplift you. Okay? I can go deeper on that, but this is not the time and place for it. So blessed morning to my Tobago people. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing much greetings this morning. Good morning to every single one. My family, my friends, my well-wishers, the clients who I support and the ones who support me, those who are on the fence. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to the police officers out there. Good morning to the maxi taxi drivers. Good morning to everybody, the nurses, the doctors. Good morning to every single living soul on the face of this earth. And good morning to all the people who within the sound of my ear this morning. Once again, my name is Mr. Alloy Johnson. I'm the founder of the Healthiest Corner on Earth. And what I do is explain my way in way of, when I say explain my way, I offer a free consultation to anyone who suffers with chronic diseases, and then I optimize your structure and function by way of botanical herbs, which I put together synergistically. Now, Mr. Johnson do not do the work. Hear what Mr. Johnson is good at. Synergistically applying these botanical herbs so that the body in itself can optimize structure and function the way God and nature intended it to be. What that means, your immune system will go to war for you. So let me ask a question again this morning. Is the absence of disease good health? Again, is the absence of disease good health? The question is an unequivocal no. Good health is your body's ability to break the neck of any pathogen / virus bacteria that enters your epithelium. That is good health. Once your body is able to do that, and then the other part is your health span, because most of us confuse our health span with our present health. Look, what is your health span? A lot of people are already dead. Again, and I'm not saying this facetiously, a lot of us are already dead. We're not proper. We're not well. It's like we are moving around, but our health span is so messed up that at 40 or 45 or 50, 55, we depend on other people to take us around. And I'm not saying this because many of it may not be our fault, but I'm saying that a lot of it we contribute to. Meaning, you may be 40, 45, 50, 55, and I say you're dead because you really will ride out. You really will go in that box at the age of about 60, 70, or 80. So you're already dead. We're not doing good for ourselves. And why we are not doing good is because of the type of foods we continue to eat. All right? So, again, let me punctuate what I do. When it comes to chronic diseases, we look to the wrong people for help. Okay? It are no maybe, but if no answer about that, we reach out to the wrong people for help. So I offer you a free consultation, an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. If you think you know your stuff, don't waste my time. Don't come by me. Leave that for someone who is willing to learn from me and I'm willing to learn from. All right? And then we can take it from there. My phone numbers are as follows, and I'm going to tell you this morning. If you have any question, please call in. I don't have a question and answer section per se. And I got an input yesterday, which I agree with. A lady that came to my office, Miss Bishops, would have mentioned a couple of, I don't know if somebody would have told her it's a comment on Facebook or whatever, that, you know, how come it doesn't have a Q&A stuff. The thing is, I'm not in a lecture per se. It's not that I disagree with that. I'm not in a lecture per se where I'm there for 2 hours or 3 hours and then I go off and pontificate and then anybody can put up this stuff. I'm on the air for an hour. And I really and honestly don't mind if a person have a question that aligns with my program that I can answer. I don't mind that phone call at all. Right? So that number to call the studio is 342-0081, 342-0081, or 466-5391, 466-5391. Just call in and I'll do the best I can, the best I know how to answer the question. Let us talk about, before I go there, let me just say this again. We as a people, hear what we do. We always like to criticize without solution, always finding something derogatory to say without a solution. We always quick to badmouth what someone else is doing, but we don't have a solution. If you don't have a solution, please sit yourself down. Okay. My brother Jason McPhee, good morning to you, man. Hope all is well. My family, good morning. To everybody, good morning. Let's talk a little bit. I want to start here. I want to start a little bit about salt. A guy called and asked me this week here, and while I was in Tobago, I got this phone call from a brother in Trinidad, and he says, man, I hear so many things about salt. Isn't eating too much salt will harden your artery? I said, that sounds just as ridiculous as someone is telling me that they don't want to eat ice because the ice will freeze the fat. It sounds just as ridiculous. The thing is that people believe these ridiculous type of questions because they are protracted narrative that are metallized in consensus. There has no base towards it. It's just a lot of people talking, and people will say, well, 100 Frenchmen can't be wrong. 1,000 Frenchmen can't be wrong. Well, I'm here to tell you 100 and 1,000 Frenchmen are wrong every single day. Every single day. So these things are not just by consensus. You understand it? These are academics. You know, these are things that are proven. So when somebody asks such ridiculous question, and they are so innocent and ignorant about the fact that really the question I'm asking is absolutely ridiculous, and he put me in a spot like, really? You're gonna ask me that for real? If I suck ice, it will freeze the fat? If I use salt, it will harden my artery? How can salt harden your artery? Let me explain something to you guys, right? Our heart, I'm going to say this again, and I want you to listen carefully. Our heart can only do so much in terms of pumping blood through the body. We have two main pipes, if you want to call it that operates in the body, which is the artery, which has muscle. It moves like a snake. It has muscle. It pumps the blood from the aorta throughout the body, and you have the vein that takes it back, right? So question number one is the salt, and question number two is he asked me both questions, salt and again about cholesterol, which I will never stop talking about, because if cholesterol is our problem, why does it take place in the vein and not in the artery? I'm sure nobody could answer that, but they keep putting the fear of God in us that we need to take cholesterol medication, right? If it is the problem, why does it take place in the vein? Why in the vein and not in the artery? I'm going to leave that for a little bit. So let me go back to salt. Let us go back to salt. 83% of the sodium that we consume as human beings come from the inept food that we eat. Foods that we consume on a daily basis. Food out of boxes. Food out of box. A lot of people who know me know that I do not like supermarket, and I'm not telling, oh, you're not to like supermarket, and I just saying I don't like supermarket. So you see a lot of people walk into a supermarket and the trolley is up to the brim, $3,000 and $4,000 worth of food, all in boxes. That piece of your coffee you're carrying right there, because nobody could convince me of any food in box that's good to eat. However, we do. One might say, okay, so how come, what about pasta? Well, here what happened. We use pasta, we use macaroni, we make pie with it and stuff like that, but we add a few other things to it. Here we're going on with pastas and all these things here. They are fortified with something called folic acid. And that folic acid is what they tell us daily are good for us. They tell you folic acid is excellent for you. They give women who are pregnant folic acid. Nothing about folic acid is real. Nothing about it is real. Folic acid, and you know what? Is in 1993, right? A group of inept buphead convinced the United States government that folic acid is what we should eat. Folic acid comes from a lab. They sprinkle it and they use the spray plant with it. And another thing that I want to add to this before it slipped my mind. How come the things that they spray our plant with that we have to eat, Monsanto and all these big companies, even some companies down here does it too. There's things, the stuff that you spray your plant with to keep away insect. Why do you have to wear a hazmat suit to spray your plant? Sit on that for a little bit. So folic acid irritates the human body. A lot of us cannot break it down, right? It cannot be refined. It really cannot be refined. Folic acid has to be broken down into what you call methylfolate. Methylfolate. And you can get raw methylfolate taken into your body. But they convince us that folic acid is extremely good for us. And here how they nice it up. Well, this pasta or this food or this or that cereal or whatever it is, because it's on almost everything, it's fortified / enriched with folic acid. Right there, that start messing with your head one time because you think it's healthy. No, it's not. And it's one of the reasons why many of us suffers with hyperhomocysteine level. And homocysteine is an amino acid that becomes extremely inflammatory. Hence the reason why a whole bunch of people are suffering with high blood pressure, and then they give you one medication after the next and your blood pressure can't go down. Your blood pressure will not go down because the precipitation of your blood pressure is not whether you need zombie or drugs to carry it down, but because you haven't taken in the proper stuff to maintain proper blood pressure. Talk done. You have homocysteine level that irritates the endothelium in your blood vessel, and these pipes shut down, and when you decrease volume, pressure goes up. That's just what happens. But if you don't know, you don't know. Well, how do you know? Book an appointment with Mr. Johnson. That's how you're gonna know, and I can explain all that to you. So let me go back to the salt thing now. Our heart pumps the blood through the body. Now we have what we call our capillaries. I say this already and I'll say it again. We have almost 63 to 64,000 miles of blood vessel, capillaries running through our body if you tie them from end to end. 63 to 64,000. That's going around the world 1.5 times. Right? When the blood is pumped to the root of these capillaries, you know what a snake does when it grabs a prey? A snake don't have no hand, it don't have no feet. When it grabs a prey and it constricts it, it does what it needs to do to carry it down for digestion, right? By its analogous, that snake movement is analogous to our capillaries and how they move. So the blood comes to a certain point, and now our capillaries has to do that. It's called vasomotor, and pelt that through the other capillaries throughout the blood. You know why some of us are so septic and full of inflammation? Because that cannot happen. It can't happen because we are not eating the correct foods, we are not supplementing as we ought to, and then we have people in your ears who telling you stay away from herbalists and herbalists this and herbalists that. And I am praying one day, I am absolutely praying for a debate with the people who knock down herbalists. I want it so bad I can taste it. And it's not that I want to show off, no. It's just some questions that I want to ask. And let me tell you what my position is when I say I want to debate like that. Let's say a person come and ask me, Mr. Alloy Johnson, do you believe in God? My question will be unequivocally yes. My very presence of being on the face of this planet is an act of God. Okay, well, prove it to me. Palos, me don't have to prove nothing to you. It's easier for you to prove to me that there isn't one. That's the debate I want from the people who knock down herb. You're saying that this is not going to work? Counter it. Because that's what I want. And you will go wrong. So I am saying to you guys, how can a body that is produced with such intelligence, that by a mind that we cannot even fathom, how can that be able to operate with such intelligence? Our biochemistry, our physiology, our microbiome, the entire endoplasma, you understand me? How can that respond to certain stuff if it wasn't made by this being, this intelligent being that we can create, and more so than ever, foods of the earth? It is made from food. Every single cell in our body, every capillaries is made from food. Food. You know, I have this topic this morning, and I put it up. For those who are following now, they would see, do you know what a MVX blood test is? Do anybody know? Most people don't know. Because I asked a couple physicians, and right in front of me, they had to go into their phone, and nothing wrong with that, because that's how we learn. Nothing wrong with that. Well, let me tell you what that is. When you do that type of test, hear what that reveals. Malnutrition. It tells you exactly what's not in your body and what your body needs. I explained this to people, to folks already, where there are insurance companies. All they need is 5 years of demographics, 5 years of medical history, a genetic test from you, and they will tell you when you're riding out from the face of this planet. So the money you put in is not predicated upon how much money they can get from other people, you know. It's predicated on how long you have on this face of the earth. That's how your investment is. Like reverse mortgage and those stuff. For those of you who don't know what a reverse mortgage is, go and Google it and you will see. That's what it's predicated upon. So when people telling you stay away from botanical herb, which is the lion's share of essential nutrients, which I will always punctuate, which is my mantra, I will always say, the lion's share of essential nutrients for the human body are minerals. Then you have other people who convincing you that you should put a drug into your body more than a mineral. I say you lack a viewpoint of knowledge, dangerously lack a viewpoint of knowledge. How on earth would you get B complex from drugs? How that's going to happen? When you do this MVB, and the acronym for that is Metabolic Vulnerability Index, it's telling you exactly what's going on with you. And it have other tests that can actually put us, like men could be on a model, a computer model, and when they put in, let's say, they look at this test and they put in, let's say, D3, which is the most important vitamin of the human body, based on my research. The model jumps, so the length of time that you're on the face of this earth increases. So here we are. Many of us are proud to say, and we say it emphatically. We are so blissfully unaware. We say it implicitly. But I don't eat. I really don't take no vitamin. I'm telling you, you proud to say that. You proud to say you don't take no vitamins. Just such ignorant statement. I just eat natural. We're natural. Well, where the natural coming from? But you see, when I talk like this, people just get irritated. Here why you get irritated. Here why you get irritated. Anything that irritates you about another human being, it's right within you that you don't like about yourself. So when you get irritated, go in the dark, ask God to give you the strength to look at the dark zombie in you so you can renew the way you think, so that you can start revitalizing your internal dialogue. Because that's where all the changes start from. This is why I start with don't judge. Don't do none of those things. Let us not do that. Let's try to live a life where we loving one another. I put something on my status this morning. When I talk like this, sometimes I just be all over the place because I just grandstand, but I just come right back in the middle. I just talk like a spider web. I put something in my WhatsApp this morning on the status that says, the good book says, love your neighbor as yourself. Well, to me, my understanding of that, self-love first. There's no way on planet Earth you can love your neighbor if you do not understand the depth of self-love. So let's not fool our foolish self talking about this word. This is what they say and this is what they, because many of us can't even do it. We can't even do it. So the depth of self-love, the depth of loving your neighbor starts with you. So what that says, many of us don't even love ourselves. So we can't love nobody else. We good at that. We have a PhD in hating ourselves. Let me see if there's any information there from WhatsApp this morning. Good morning, Tanel. How are you, my dear? Tanel, good morning to you. Morning, Miss Huggins. Blessings. And let me go on again. Let me finish this vasomotor stuff, right? The act of a snake that take the blood from the capillaries and take it throughout the body. That can only done through, and I want to touch on something there just now. I don't want it to slip me. That can only done through vasomotor. And then the body can revitalize itself. When you wake up in the morning, if you wake up in the morning and you have no energy, that means your oxygen level is low. Your pH is low, potential hydrogen. You're not there. You're off. Many people knows what the lymphatic system is. I think if I line up randomly 10 people, I am sure if you will tell me or give me an understanding of what the lymphatic system is, which is that part of our body that cleanses itself, that has lymph nodes. Sometimes you have a pain and a lump underneath your arm, a lot of times, or a gland by your leg. So let me tell you what happened there. The body catch a virus, it collect the poison and it's keeping it there until you optimize structure and function, and that will slowly dissipate. It will start getting rid of that. You all didn't know that really was the case, eh? But do you know what is the glymphatic system? G-L-I-M, not the lymphatic, the glymphatic system. Well, here we're going on with the glymphatic system, folks. And this is kind of dangerous to most people because they go through this stuff and not even realizing what's going on here. The glymphatic system is that system that cleans your brain. You know, a lot of times we have brain fog. We can't even remember what we're saying because, again, we're eating so much dotish food that it clouds our vision, our memory. We just go into this brain fog. Even me, it happens too at times. And I do the best I can in terms of the choices I make when it comes to me putting food in my stomach. The glymphatic system, here how crucial this is. If you cannot sleep, folks, listen to this carefully, because this is where a lot of our problem is. If you cannot sleep in the night, because let me tell you, as a fitness expert and an herbalist practitioner, I will tell you this one time. I'll tell you this straight. Everything that comes with being or optimizing a good body from a wholeness standpoint, punctuate by sleep. You could do everything else good. If you can't sleep, you have worries. You have some serious problems on your hand. It's the most important factor. So here what happened. The glymphatic system cleans the brain. All the nonsense we do in the course of the day, it cleans the brain from inflammation and us getting all these kind of disease that will create neurotransmitters issues, and from a neuro standpoint, fogginess. Do you know that the glymphatic system only activates when you have deep sleep? Not REM, not REM sleep, deep sleep. That's the only time it activates, it gets into action and start cleaning the brains. For many of us, we don't sleep. And if we do, we sleep very light. We don't sleep properly, and then we have a whole bunch of other issues that come with that. And then you go to our people who we expect to help us, and then they medicate you. Well, you know, we have a thing in Trinidad and Tobago we just say, crapo smoke your pipe. Because right there and then, your health start getting messing with. You hear what I'm telling you, folks? And the glymphatic system will not do what it's supposed to do by way of cleaning the brains if you do not have deep sleep. No, let me add to this. If you do not sleep or cannot sleep, the body will accumulate insulin. It will accumulate insulin. I want you guys to Google hyperhomeocysteine. Hyperhomeocysteine. And you will see what hyperhomeocysteine or hyperhomeocystelemia, you will see what it's about. Once you Google it, you'll see the reason you suffer from it. And what is hypo? I just explained to you, when your homocysteine levels are extremely high and it irritates the endothelium in the blood pressure, and all kind of trouble you're getting. If you Google hyperhomeocystelemia, you will see what causes it, and what really causes it is a deficit of vitamins. And your body cannot convert certain vitamins into metathione, which is what a lot of us needs. It can't break it down. But you'll get drugs, which ain't doing nothing for you. You're miserable as hell. More pathologies in your body as hell. What is pathology? Sickness. Things that the body doesn't want. Not every signal that the body gives out is bad, because when the body gives signal, you should listen to it. I'm just saying, when you take drugs, it adds to your pathologies. You see, as a herbalist, we deal with physiologies, and we deal also with pathologies. The rest deal with only pathologies because they see the symptoms as the problem. They see the symptoms as the disease. All you have to understand, when Mr. Johnson come on a platform, I try to educate. I do my best to educate my people who perish by lack of knowledge. I know sometimes, maybe, and I'm saying to you guys, I know this. I come across as rough, boisterous. Sometimes I need to modulate my voice. I come across as all those things. Maybe you can see me, you can construe or deduce from my action and body language. Yeah, a bit arrogant. All those things may be true. They are not the core of my being, though. They are not. And I'm not here on this platform pleading to you to tell you that you should like me, because personally, your personal opinion of me, I don't care nothing about. I do care what I do and how it affects human being. I do care about that. I care about my action and how it will impact. I am not a narcissist, although all of us have a bit of narcissism in us. I'm not a narcissist. I'm not a classic one either. So I do care about my action and how it impacts people. I do. But your personal opinion of me, I don't care. Sorry, I just don't care. So I'm not on this platform for likes. It's the reason I say all that. I may come across it. I don't have to watch how I behave and whatever. Once I'm not disrespecting you, you could form whatever opinion you want. You could do that. Because if I walk from this studio to downtown Port of Spain, I'm going to get at least 100 different opinions. Can't live my life on that. And if you live your life based on what people think of you, that your life isn't yours. So let me get back to this stuff here. Folks, I am saying to you guys, the salt that you need to put in your body is Baja Gold sea salt, Celtic sea salt, or Himalayan pink salt. But the human body needs salt. 83% of the sodium, again, let me punctuate this, that are in our body comes from the inept food that we eat from Monsanto and all these other companies that blind us with nonsense and create all these problems in our body. Do you think it's uncanny? Do you think it's weird that a human being that tries to elevate other human beings are always being threatened or killed or deplatformed? Have you ever thought about that? I need you guys to process that just a little bit more, because that's what happened in the world that we live in. Even up to yesterday, this beautiful lady again, she says sometimes you don't think that they will try to do ... I can't think about that. I don't have time to study that. I am fearless in what I do. My intentions are good. Let me punctuate it again. And you would hear me say this over and over again. Mr. Johnson ain't no nice guy. I'm not a nice guy. I'm a good guy. I'm not a nice man. I'm a good man. And I know this from the core of my being. Nice people do things that they are not happy with. Nice people try to please other people while they are unhappy. Nice people say yes to things that they know they want to say no for. That is not Mr. Johnson. Sorry. I'm sorry. And I ain't sorry in the sorry sense, you know. Derogatorily, sorry. That's never going to happen. That's not the cloth I come from. So me coming on a platform like this and expatiating my mental faculties to help people, boy, if that endangers me, what am I going to do? I hope it doesn't. I don't want it to happen, because I want to elevate my people. This is my dharma. I know this is what I was born to do. Ask anybody my age in Dallaford. Anybody. They will tell you emphatically, he always into fitness. He always on the beach exercising. He always was like that. I just find a refined version to do it. And I'm doing what I love. I just find a way to monetize it so I can live. Okay? But I urge you people, I urge you guys, please, take better care of yourself and each other. We need each other to be each other. We have to be that way. We have to. And we should. We shouldn't allow the upper echelon who wants to control us to get into our heads and tell us how we should eat and what we should eat. Let me go back to something that I talked about earlier on. In the human body, there are hundreds of thousands of vitamins. Hundreds. If you look into your bloodstream now, hundreds. The one vitamin that the human body can make on its own, the one vitamin, because all those vitamins has to be imported. Yes, you have other people. I want to know where vitamin come from, if it come from a drug. That is what I want to know. But the hundreds of vitamins that's in our body has to be imported. The one vitamin that our body could make on its own is cholecalciferol. I'm going to say it on almost every platform so that people understand this. Cholecalciferol, 1,25-dihydroxychlorocalciferol, vitamin D3 is the only vitamin that the human body can make on its own. Well, if the one that creates us allow that to happen, and that vitamin can make from cholesterol and sunlight. That's what we need. We don't even have to eat for our body to make that. Cholesterol and sunlight. Well, if the one that created us give our body the ability to do that, it tells you how important this vitamin is. Yet, 55 to 60% of us are depleted in vitamin D3. The expressions of that is a whole bunch of sick people. Women, polycystic ovarian syndrome, fibroids, that's a clear indication that you completely vitamin D3. Completely vitamin D3. It is so easy to just leave out certain foods. Like people will try to convince me all the time to make a diet sheet for them. I'm not making no diet sheet for nobody. Nobody follows diet sheet. Nobody does. It may last 30 seconds. What I give you is what you need to stay away from. And the most dangerous thing to our body is the industrial seed oils / vegetable seed oil. That's what they call it, so it sounds good to us. If you don't understand that many of the oils that we consume, even the Crisco, or you go in the supermarket and see the Crisco, it came from what? Those industry that has these big black tallow grease. It's hard to fathom, eh? Our oils come from that. Many of our oils. All the thing Mr. Johnson talking inept nonsense, right? Go and do your research now. Go and do your research and you'll see what's going on. They put it up on this shelf in the supermarket that look beautiful. Has this nice yellow look because you see hexane is in it. It's well perfumed up, it's refined, and then we put that into our body. No wonder why we are so ill. As I say again, I said it before and I'll say it again. Ladies and gentlemen, if we get real woke to the point where we get extremely healthy, many things on the face of this planet going and crash. That's why they pay millions of dollars to keep us distracted. Not million, billions of dollars to keep us distracted. Billions of dollars for us to fight against each other. Because if we get woke, many things going and crash. Somehow, we don't believe that. Somehow, we are disconnected from that. And we are so far removed from our ancestral genome, we don't understand that is why we are ill. Our ancestral genome never eat food from boxes. Our ancestral genome eat meat, wild shrubs, berries, and all the fruits and them out there, and the stuff that comes from the earth. Because again, let me punctuate, plants cannot manufacture minerals. If plants used to manufacture minerals, every single one of us will be billionaires, because we could take our plant and make silver and gold. Plants, minerals come from the earth, and that earth must have the conducive bacteria that sucks the mineral up through the plant. We eat the plant, the chloroplast of the plant, or we eat the animal that eats the plant. Let us not go around that otish talk about all this and all that. Let we keep it real, because that's what happens. That's what happens. So when you are pumping your chest, oh well, but I don't take no vitamins and I don't eat natural food. I want to see what your definition of natural food is, because here what? I ask vegetarians the same thing. What is your definition of being a vegetarian when you have an extended stomach? When you're suffering from diabetes? Listen, and I don't like the truth, but I'm going to remind you again, it's the reason they killed the Messiah, because he talked the truth. So from the inception we are issues with the truth. Hence the reason why we are so easily controlled. We move from what used to work to what sounds good. And that is one of our problems. Why? Folks, look, once again, what defiles us? If what you eat dictates your mood, which is truly what happened, if what you eat is what builds you up, then what you eat can also destroy you. And if what you eat destroys you, then what you eat can also medicate you to optimize your structure and function the way God and nature intended it to be, and bring your body back to homeostasis. So again, Google MVX and do your research, because it will tell you exactly why people are depleted of certain essential nutrients. Also, you guys hear me talk already about MTHFR, methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase. It is a broken gene. If you're going to Google MTHFR, please put it in block letters, because you're not going to like the colorful site it sends you on. Google it and you will see what it means. You will see why you suffer. If you can't sleep at night, Google COMT, acronym catechol-metal-transferase. You will see why a lot of people suffer with anxiety. And that's a problem, bro. That's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. In our country, in Trinidad and Tobago, real people suffer with anxiety. Why? You think it's zombie? You think it's obia? No. It is a lack of serotonin in the stomach, and your body's ability from that serotonin to break down the amount of thoughts that you're producing in your head. You think about the most innocuous things. Wonder if the batch outside have a jacket. Wonder if the batch do the laundry this morning. Nothing to do with you. Your mind gone. The question that I have, and the question I usually ask people who suffers with anxiety, number one question: can you pinpoint any trigger that cause you anxiety? Can you pinpoint all? And I'm telling you, they will tell you no. My other question is, do you always have to have something scaring you to have an anxiety? No. Right there, you know, this is something that can be cured with nutrition. It's part of depression as well, but they don't want you to believe that. They want you to think that if you're depressed, you should be medicated. No, ladies and gentlemen. No. That is not, it is the antithesis of the truth. But if you believe it, it's the reason why they will put you on SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. What that does, you're stressing plenty. If for somebody, you want to know what real anxiety is, go up to the tallest building in Port of Spain now. Go to the roof and go to the edge and peep over. That is the epitome of anxiety, how you start feeling there. And imagine people going through that by not even the presence of a fear. Just like that, they will sit in an office and they start getting that feeling. Papa, it is serotonin. And then you go on SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, which take your nervous system, they bring the nervous system up to match the pace of your heart, so you kind of calm down. By definition, you ain't coming off that medication there. But you would if you come by Mr. Johnson, because we can go through it. You nutrify the body, all those are signals. They don't want you to believe that though. No. If they believe that, they can't sell the SSRIs. They can't. But if you come by Mr. Johnson, we can sit and talk about that. I've done it many a times. I wish some of my clients who I help with anxiety could call in. Done it many a times. Many times. Because I do the best I can, the best I know how to read and understand the human body in ways where most people can't. You don't hear Mr. Johnson on a platform talking about, well, I have this here and this one costs this. And I'm not telling anybody not to do that, you know. I am just telling you that's not my forte. If that makes me not make the amount of money that other people, that's fine with me. I am good with that because it shows in my action. Hence the reason I don't charge consultation fee. Look, I want to help. Come to me. I'll do whatever I can. My phone number is 736-3962. 736-3962. Or 709-8450. 709-8450. People, a lot of times people go to bed in the night and they're sweating and they're scary, they're feeling all kind of stuff. You eat something that carries your insulin level to the roof, that inadvertently mess with the parasympathetic nerve. Once that's get messed with, your body start panicking, it releases cortisol, you're counting sheep whole night. You wake up in the morning, you're miserable as hell. All these things can slowly be taken care of with proper diet and nutrition. Don't let nobody tell you anything different, ladies and gentlemen. Please, I beg of you, don't let them get into your head. Polycystic ovarian syndrome, dyslipidemia, which is the wasting away of muscles, prostate, heart issue, diabetes, any single chronic disease in the human body that they tell you cannot be cured could be cured with nutrition. Take it from me. They proved that since in the 19th century. Max Planck and Otto Boulder, they did that. They show you. The human body, a well oxygen and alkaline body, will break the neck of any pathogen, bacteria, or any type of disease. Anything. We let it get into we head in the last 4 years talking about they're going to give we this jab and spike protein and do this. All this stuff that are messing us up. And this spike protein never turns off in your body. Diffuse vasculitis, dystonia vasculitis, pericarditis, myocarditis is yours to be had with that. But if you come by Mr. Johnson, I have nanokinase, I have bromelain, I have licorice root, I have cinnamon bark. I can help you. It's how to put it synergistically. And more so than ever, vitamin D3. K2, MK7K2, Bacopa minora. You just have to know how to do these things synergistically. Oil of oregano, but you gotta get the oil of oregano, you gotta look for the one with clavicol. That breaking the neck of almost everything, but you got to work it synergistically. That's where Mr. Johnson come in. So you want to stay home and make excuses because you have improper circulation, you have diabetes problem, you have all this, and they tell you it cannot be cured. They're lying to you. It's the antithesis of the truth. I told you guys last week, you know, when something called the sickle cell, they said that it's black people alone having sickle cell disease, and then when Caucasian people started calling it, they changed the name. They call it thalassemia. All right. They call it thalassemia. When it start to go on them, because you see, they know if they jump out, it's going to start confusing the public. But you have something called beta thalassemia. Beta thalassemia is, you can inherit that. It's low blood. Your hemoglobin very low. It's all like 7. Weak. I help with all that. You can do other things to optimize your structure and function. Don't let them fool you up. Don't let them fool you. Oh, hey, don't let them fool you. Oh, no. Let me leave that alone. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and prerogative. Again, let me remind you, for the month of April, I will not be here on a Wednesdays. Okay? That's short-lived. It's only 4 Wednesdays. Although there's 13 months in the year and they're trying to mess with we head. I know that I could teach you how to do that. But I have some things to do. I will be in Tobago a lot for those things, doing some work. I'll be extremely busy. So for the month of April. But I will be back in May. You will miss me? Yes, I'll miss you too. I'll miss you guys a lot. Feel free to give me a call anytime. Feel free. But just understand that once you give the human body what it needs, your immune system will go to war for you. I'm just going to let you know that. Again, let me remind you people, for those of you who take that jab, get that spike protein out of your system. I can help you to do it. Get it out. It can come out. There are things that can get it out. Our body can only make spike protein on an order from the human body without that jab, and that eviscerates in 2 to 3 hours. Any chronic disease can be reversed, cured, or go in remission. Call it whatever you want. Because on some platform you have to be politically correct. You can't use the word cure. Excuse me? Or they're not curing nothing. So don't tell me I can't use the word cure. But surgeon, oh God, I love a surgeon. Anything that is acute trauma, that's all your wheelhouse. Anyway, my ladies and gentlemen, it's almost that time again. It's been a pleasure and prerogative dispensating these information to you all. I wish the time was a little bit more. I can give you a whole lot more. There's a whole barrage of information that I can give. And I think I'm way better when I'm in an area where questions are thrown at me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know everything, and I'll be the first to tell you I don't know everything. And many of us don't know that we don't know. We didn't know that we didn't know. We still don't know that we don't know we didn't know. Because he who knows not that he knows not is an imps. So I'll just tell you this. At the end of the day, I don't know everything. Caller, you live. Make it quick at the end. Caller, you live.
Good morning.
Blessed morning.
My brother, I was trying to call him, but the system was a bit, the phone system giving some problems.
All right. Thank you.
You were talking about the body dealing with, oh, help me there. You're going in a building and feeling this right. Kind of feeling. What is the term?
That is anxiety.
Anxiety. You know, there is a situation when you're in a more personal situation with a female. Some men go through it. Yeah. When you have that anxiety, it also affects you in that area.
Absolutely does.
Could you explain that? Because a lot of men deal with that and are ashamed to go to a doctor or to even ask about it.
Yes.
A lot of men.
Right. I like that question. So let me go that, and that's my brother. I love you, bro. I love your wax. Let me say this real quick. A lot of times that is the truth. And that anxiety stepping on most men, like sometimes they got nervous with a lady, that is what happened. That is catecholamines. You get so nervous, the catecholamines, they come from the same school as adrenaline and I just called it there, cortisol. They jump out and they get scared. These neurotransmitters have you tighten up and making you believe that there's a fear presence there, that there's this writing there. You gotta calm yourself. All that comes from proper metallation, and I'm so glad about that question. So guys, you guys out there who's suffering with that, call me 736-3962 or 709-8450. I'll do the best I can for you. I will bring you right back up to par. It's not gonna happen just like that. Until then, just remember, I won't be here in April, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is your boy RJ. And listen, in this life, we all need each other to be each other. Without each other, Megan.
presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Iwer Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Champlain, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you.